Hello, welcome. This is Cece from Generation Wellness Global. Welcome to my interview series. And today I am with Larissa McCoy from Our Village Essentials. Hi, Larissa, welcome.
Hey.
So the reason I wanted to do these interviews is that the parenting journey and the healing journey, you learn a lot of things the hard way. Can be a steep learning curve. And I came across many different modalities that I'd never even heard of, many different resources and information that weren't in my radar before. And I realized how many other people probably haven't heard of these things as well. And so I wanted to present them and bring some information to people. So welcome. And Larissa is a bit of a home birthing legend. She has home birthed the second and third of her three boys, and she is a trained, qualified post-birth doula and a passionate essential oil advocate. So Larissa, tell us firstly, what is a post-birth doula or even a doula? Many people haven't heard about it or really understand what it's about.
No. I had to Google it myself the first few times I heard it as well. Don't worry, you're not the only one. So a doula is a trained companion, basically, who supports you through significant experiences in your life. So, for example, you can have birth doulas or death doulas or cancer doulas, someone who's going to support you through that. So it was news to me. Had no idea that you could get a death doula. I mean, that's pretty cool. So what I do is I'm a postpartum doula, so post-birth doula. I know that getting home with a new baby from hospital is just terrifying and overwhelming because you're sitting there with crickets basically and no idea what to do or how to do it or what's expected of you, and it's a bit overwhelming all at the same time while you're sitting there doing nothing. And so generally people sometimes people jump out to society and other people's experiences to find out what they should be doing and how to do it, and that doesn't always work out the best. It's not always what they need to be doing for themselves and their journey. So I help new mums to figure out what's right for them, I guess, to build confidence in their journey and their choices along their journey, gently hold their hand and teach them how to make the decisions and find out what's right for them, basically. Build resilience and confidence in their journey. Does that answer your question? Oh. What else does a doula do? So what postpartum doulas specifically do is more around, some doulas will cook and tidy, mind your children if you've got other kids. Sometimes you need to just have someone to mind your kids so that you can rest, or I like to even put new bubs in a wrap so that you can go off and sleep while I can go and do other things. We can also help guide you to resources that you might need. So if you're having trouble mentally or physically with anything, we can help you to find the right person who can support you through that. So if you're having trouble emotionally adjusting, we can help find the right therapists, or if you need chiro or physio type of things, or if you need breastfeeding support, there's so many things that happen. And as a new mum, I had absolutely no idea where to start. So we help with that. I love to help new mums on their breastfeeding journey. It's such a taboo topic, I guess, and society's very black and white sometimes when you've got pressures from mums and family and pressures from friends and society on whether you should be bottle feeding or breastfeeding or what's right. And sometimes it's a combination of everything, or there's different reasons that you may or may not be choosing a certain thing, and I just help people to find the right answers that work for them. I absolutely also love, my favorite part is discussing birth stories, because it is such a significant experience in our life, whether it's positive or negative. It's really something that needs to be processed. And I know society tends not to be, we tend to feel a bit anxious to share our story. If it's really good, we don't want people to feel, you know, inadequate because we've had such a great story and they didn't. So we don't tend to share it. And if we had such a terrible story, we don't tend to share it because people don't want to hear it. But I do. I do. And I really love helping people, celebrating in the miracle that it is, and supporting people and sitting with them in that hurt and that pain that they might have gone through as well, helping them to heal, because we need to talk about it to heal.
Yeah. You need to process that massive event that just happened and figure out which way is up again in a way.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And I love the idea of having a companion to help you find resources, because I know when my first was about 2 weeks old, I was in a mess of tears and pain and shredded nipples, and I didn't want to give up, but I was in such a state psychologically, emotionally, and my mum found the number for the ABA helpline, the Breastfeeding Association, and just a 5-minute talk with someone who gave me some tips and ideas on different things to try helped me through that period and into recovery and a breastfeeding relationship that lasted quite a while.
Yeah.
So it's so important to be able to reach those resources when you're in the moment you really need it, because we don't even know what we don't know.
Yeah. No, that's
before
right.
starting that journey. And and this is the thing, you know, I heard about doulas when I was having my first, but I'd never heard of a post-birth doula. I was like, what is this? There's new ones. They're multiplying. So yeah, I was like, man, someone's going to come and cook for me. I'll go and have another baby.
I'm going to be honest, I don't like cooking. But I'll order Uber Eats for you, definitely. But I will definitely be a companion and help work through those emotional. I think that's where I really love to be, helping people work through those emotional aspects. Uber Eats, you don't need people to cook for you when you got Uber Eats, really.
Yeah, that's true.
Then there's no cleaning up. You don't need someone to tidy. But
yeah, perfect. So why did you feel called into this field? Tell us about what really spoke to you about post-birth doula.
I think definitely from my first birth, where I had enough healing to do, and working through that grief and guilt that came with it all was really kind of empowering to have that, okay, so this is okay. It's okay that my birth wasn't blissful, you know, and it's okay. That's my journey, and I'm really grateful for it because it has led me into this path. But then the feeling of confidence and joy going into the second birth, where I felt totally powerful. I felt confident, powerful, everything. It didn't matter if it was going to go good or bad, as in my path or not, like what I chose. It was going to be a positive experience. And I think that confidence has also continued into the rest of my parenting decisions. So it doesn't matter what I do now, I'm confident in it. And I want every mum to feel that way, to feel confident that, you know, you can say, you know what, me and my 3 kids and hubby all sleep in the same room still, even though the eldest is 6.5. We all like it that way. And my kids sleep better, I sleep better, you know, there's not really much to lose. So I'm okay sharing that because I'm confident about that decision, and it doesn't matter what anyone says, kind of thing. I want everyone to feel that confidence.
Yeah. And I think it's a huge thing, isn't it? Because there's this fear created about birth, and then the pressure of making good parenting choices according to who, but, you know, and it really has detracted from that rite of passage for women to, you know, really step into motherhood,
to really own it.
Okay, so what would be your top 3 tips for a new mum arriving home with her little bundle of joy and no idea what to do? I remember that day.
Yeah, take a breath. It's okay. It's all going to be okay. Number one, I think instincts. 9.99999% out of 10 times. Percentages? Yeah.
Yeah. 99% of the time. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Out of 10 times, 99% of the time. That first little twinkle of instincts that you have is going to be right. So it's learning to trust that and just trust it. Run with it. And you'll find that you're more powerful and you know more than you actually realize. So I think that's very powerful. If you want to cuddle your baby, cuddle your baby. If people say put them in the pram, but you rather cuddle them, just cuddle them. Just trust that instinct. Number two is oxytocin. It is so powerful and so critical for birth and post-birth with our healing and our mental and physical. Plus it helps to boost the bond with baby as well. So it's really, really powerful. So that would include things like finding gratitude in everything, in anything. The moments, take those moments to smell baby, to cuddle baby, you know, absolutely any. If you just go, oh, isn't this a beautiful moment? Take it. Don't go, oh, but I've got to do the dishes. Who cares about the dishes? My hubby cares and he wishes I would do them more, but I'd rather cuddle my babies, so I do. And rest, and that's making you important. That all comes in oxytocin. So that was sneakily more than 3. Number 3 is probably more oxytocin. No, number 3 is don't be afraid to ask for help, because we all need help. We are all human. It's okay to be human, and we all need help sometimes, and it's okay to ask for it. Don't be afraid to ask for it. People want to help you, they just don't know how. So if you say, I need help with this, they know how to help you then. So do that. Don't be afraid.
Yeah. And I think asking around is good as long as you're strong in doing what's right for you. But one of the reasons I want to do these interviews is because there's so many modalities that the experts aren't experts in. They don't know about to recommend. And, you know, like I went on a whole journey with tongue ties with my kids, and it was just, I needed to find the resources another way, because the experts weren't experts in ties.
Yeah.
So you need to go and source those other resources, and so it's not necessarily about taking everyone's opinion and feeling guilty for not doing things a certain way, but listen and seek advice, and then when something does feel right for you, go and check it out. And
yeah, it all comes back to trusting those instincts. You know, if you're asking on a Facebook page, you know, what do I do for this? How do I deal with this? You know, you can read all the information and what people give you and their advice or what they did and all that, but if it doesn't feel right, trust the instincts. It all comes back to trusting your instincts. Yeah. Same as doing the dishes or cuddling your baby. What's your instincts tell you? You know, do that.
my instincts about dishes are
yeah.
So I'm sure you get this question a lot. What about essential oils? Are they safe for baby?
Yes. Well, depends on the ones, but yes, generally, yes. I like to use gentle oils like lavender and frankincense. They're nice and gentle, they're soothing, they're very versatile. I think you can tell which ones are the harsh ones. You know, you've got a muscle rub in the cupboard, you're not going to use that. Don't use that. It's not pleasant on you. Why would it be pleasant on a baby? But use your head. Heavily diluted if you're using it on baby, and don't put it on your nipples before a feed. You know, make sure it's after a feed so that it has time to sink in and heal if you're using it for nipple support type of things. I like to not generally put it on my chest too much, because babies are often on your chest. You know, use the back of your neck instead, or your bottom of your feet, or, you know, your abdomen, or your back, you know, things like that. But yeah, if you're using on a baby, heavily dilute. I've used oil since my eldest was 1, I think, about then. And I've used oils on babies from 1 day old. It was my choice.
Yeah.
If you don't feel comfortable with that, don't do it. But that was my choice, and my babies are perfectly healthy.
Yeah. And the caveat with that, of course, is, you know, with babies, you want to use really good quality products, so you're not getting any synthetics. So with bub, heavily diluted, you said, but probably things like down the spine or the bottom of the feet, or maybe over the tummy if they're having some colicky sort of stuff.
Yep.
But you wouldn't ever really put it anywhere else. But...
No, don't put oils on their face, probably. Or like, I tend to avoid their hands because they do a lot of this.
Yeah.
So don't put it on their hands. Feet is perfect. Down the spine is perfect. You know, you can use your carrier oils like coconut, the fractionated coconut oil. If you're going to do a baby massage, if baby's got a sore tummy or something, you know, you can just help them with a bit of that. It can be really, really useful, and I've found it so life-saving. Because not life-saving, I guess, but it's for my sanity.
Sanity saving.
Sanity saving. When, you know, they cry and you don't know why. You've fed them, you've done this, you've done that, you've done that. You know, I don't know why you're crying. I want to help you.
Yeah.
And oils are brilliant for that, because, you know, I can put lavender on the soles of his feet, and I can put some belly stuff on, and I can put a bit of teething on the jaw. And, you know, that's more often than not, that solves everything.
Yeah. And it gives you something productive to do, to feel like you're helping as well.
Yeah, and it does help. And I can also help use that. I can use that to help identify what the issue is, because if I put a bit of teething oil on and it works, he's teething. You know, if I put a bit of tummy stuff on and it doesn't work, I know that it's not his tummy. You know, if I give him Panadol, I don't know what the problem is. It just stopped the crying. You know, it's not actually helping me solve any problems.
Yeah. Yeah, good point.
Yeah. It's good.
So,
I can kind of use it to identify what the issue is.
Yeah, I'd never thought about it like that. Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
So what about mum? What would be your top 3 oils or protocols for poor old mama who's exhausted? And
Yeah, they do. We do get forgotten a lot, don't we? Everyone walks into the house and goes, "Oh, baby, yeah, I'm here too, tired and delirious."
Yeah. Help.
Help, yeah. Okay, take the baby. I'm going to sleep. Probably it's a hard one, because everyone is so different. We all like different things. If there's 3 that you really love, use those 3. But generally, I would say geranium, because geranium is excellent for love and trust emotionally. It's also excellent for healing. If you're into chakras, it's probably more about your heart chakra, isn't it? You're a bit on chakras too. Geranium's good for healing of the abdomen. Like, I generally would put geranium and lavender together and put it over my stomach. Helps all the, what do you call it? Wrinkles? Stretch marks. That's the one. Stretch marks. It can also help healing in other areas. If you're going to put oils on your perineum, that helps too. I'd also combine it with some frankincense, something extra oomphy healing. I'd also probably put copaiba in that top 3 for support around pain, in physically and emotionally. So that would help just to balance out those emotions through that crazy period of time. And if you're getting other pain in other areas of the body, that's going to support. I would also probably add citrus to my 3, because I love citrus for moods and emotions, for support. It just helps us to uplift and feel a bit joyful. So I'd probably add a citrus in there for that.
Oh, awesome. And you're not practicing at the moment because you've still got a little one yourself.
Yes.
But you do have a page if people have questions or are seeking a bit more support or info. So where do people come to find more info from you?
Yeah, just jump on the our Village Essentials, Larissa McCoy, our Facebook page. It's been a little bit quiet lately, but there's still heaps of videos in there about using oils with babies and during pregnancy, heaps of tips and what oils are good and maybe not so good for use around pregnancy. Awesome. Which is really helpful information to know and difficult to come by. Lots of people say, don't use this, but they don't actually tell you why. So I'm kind of outlined why. so you know if you should actually be looking out for it or not, whether it's relevant to you.
Oh, awesome. That's really handy. Cool. Well, thank you for joining, Larissa.
My pleasure. Thanks for inviting me.
I really loved learning about new modalities, and I really wish that everybody had a doula at birth and a post-birth doula.
Yes.
Because we all need that advocate and companion through those really important, powerful rites of passage, I think. So
yeah.
I love the idea of more women learning about this and engaging in new ways to be supported.
Yeah, together. You can't do it alone, so we try and do it together.
Yeah, absolutely. Well,
Yeah.
thank you very much.
Thank you.
Stay tuned. There will be more amazing videos. All right. Thanks. Tune in next time.